Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissick and Dana Gentry.
I can just tell you.
Okay, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah. Or we can just, yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissick.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Hey Dana, good to see you.
Yes. How are
Oh,
you?
wait, you just got back from Chicago.
Yes. Oh,
yesterday?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And they are very excited for you. I hyped up your class and talked about it and everything.
Thank you.
I was like, nobody leave the room until you have registered for Linda's class. And
Oh, good. Thank you.
Pete had me do like a little, I just shared with them like having proximity to you, how it's changed my life and like how they need to be in the room and stuff. So they were so great. It was a great venue. It was a great,
I
think we had like 160, 150.
Oh yeah, it looked like it from your post.
Actually, awesome. Kate Tyler just sent me a bunch of the pictures and videos because I had Tyler come because I'm on like a very I told Tyler we're about to go on the road. Like anything, I'm just investing in Tyler to be there because it's so important to have the media. So it was great. They loved him being there too. And although it was funny, Kate, I don't know if he told you this, Kate. I know Kate isn't talking, but she can listen. But he said that he would do a free, like a 30-minute strategy call with people in the room that wanted more information on how to build their influence in social media. And halfway through, he had 52 DMs of people who wanted to do it. I said, I guess you're turning that into a group call, probably.
Yes, without a doubt. Oh my God. Yes.
We didn't think that many would do it, but it was really great. But yeah, it was super good. It was great. So they'll be ready for you. They were pumped and excited and ready. Is it just you or is Jimmy going too?
Jimmy's going to come with me. He decided at the last minute because we got to be up in Ohio anyway. Okay. So he's just going to pop on and go with me. So yeah, because I want him to talk all about the RV park.
Yeah, well, a couple people asked me, like, do they teach it together? And I said, well, they can, but I don't know if Jimmy's 100% coming or not. So I just said, if it's Linda, it's going to be amazing. If Jimmy gets to come, it'll just be a bonus. And they were like, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do the kind of the Made for More talk that I did for Diana. And then we're going to roll into the wealth building and I'll bring Jimmy up. So
yeah, that'll be great. Well, if you're listening and you are anywhere in the Chicago area, we had people drive in for mine from St. Louis, which was 5 hours.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So if you are anywhere in the Chicago area, you should definitely reach out if you want more info. But the Chicago region, is it June 11th?
June 11th. Yeah. At 1. So they can actually drive in that morning.
That's mine. Yeah. Mine was the exact same. And it was nice because they got to come in that morning and then go home that night.
Yeah. Did you come in that morning or did you come in the night before?
I went in the night before and I was actually glad that I did because my flight got delayed and I didn't get there till like almost midnight. So, and the next morning there were tons of people sleeping in the Chicago airport. So I was so glad that I ended up coming in the night before just to be safe.
Yeah. My thought originally was I would just fly in. But it's like, okay, I think I'll go in the night before. It just gives me
the weather's just been so bad lately with all these flights getting canceled and delayed. And I mean, so I don't know. I just didn't want to chance it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, it was great. So I'm excited for you to go. If people were like, well, you come back for Linda's, I was like, I would, but I'm on vacation that week. Otherwise I would come back.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's go ahead and we'll continue on this one with kind of what's been going on with you health-wise, because I know a lot of people are interested.
Yes, so many people have reached out. Okay, so basically, and just to catch everybody up, and I know you kind of I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on this too, but, and let me get my little paper. Hold on so I can read it to you. Hold on. Yeah. So basically, I have been having since February, I got a stomach virus, like puked my guts out for 36 hours and it was horrible. But then I went on with my life. Well, then I went to, and it could be related, could not be related, but then I went to St. John for Heather's husband's 50th birthday. Adam and I went with them and ate like I was on full feed when I was there because I had been sick and I was starving and I just ate like everything when I was there and then came back 2 weeks later, wrecked. Like my stomach has never been so painful. I haven't been able to eat anything. I mean, all these people think I'm on Ozempic. I'm like, I know I have a problem. Like I have a digestive problem. And so it's just been horrible. They thought that I had an ulcer. I had a gallbladder ultrasound, like all these things. So finally I was like, okay, forget it. I'm going back to what I know. I'm going to my regular functional medicine doctor. And I did the GI-FX stool test, which I text you. Like nothing is more humbling than pooping to a French fry holder and sorting through it. Like,
Yes.
I mean, it's such a joke. So did that, sent it back, was waiting for my results. And I was like, if it comes back and they don't find anything, then I'm just going to go get the stupid scope that they wanted me to get. I really didn't want to do. So then my results came back 2 days ago. And on 3 of the things, I had a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and 9 out of 10 on parasite and gut infection. Like,
oh, wow.
10 different, whatever they're called, bacterias of all different sorts. That test is wild, by the way. I mean, what's
the test called?
It's called GI-FX. It's like $600, and I guess, I don't know, I assume normal doctors can order, but it's through Genova Diagnostics, and it just came back all kinds of stuff. So I went this morning to go over my results with my doctor and get a plan in place. He said the parasite that I had is one that's very normal. It's not normal to have a parasite, but if you are, he said this is the one that they typically see. Although he said only 10% of the patients that they do the stool test on usually come back with a parasite, much less as many gut bacteria and infections as what I have. So how I got it, I have no clue. It's kind of crazy though, Linda, because he did say where I had that virus and my stomach was completely emptied. Like he said, it was emptied of not only the bad, but the good.
Bacteria too.
Yes. And so he said, then that leaves you susceptible for like any little bad thing that normally your gut could fight off. It can't. And so then it clings to the wall and then it just multiplies. I was like, do I have worms? He was like, no, the one you have is not a worm. He's like, it's a little tiny little, he's like, it's very treatable. So he basically, he gave me this page of this plan this morning, and I do have to take a super strong antibiotic today for 7 days, starting today for 7 days, twice a day. And then I'm doing something that's more functional called berberine. Berberine, have you ever heard of that?
Berberine, yeah, I take it every day.
Oh, you do take it every day? Okay, well, I'm taking a high dose of that 2 times a day for 4 weeks after I finish the Bactrim, the antibiotic. And then after the antibiotic, I start the berberine, and then I start a really high probiotic 2 times a day for 4 weeks, and then a beta glucer and something or another, which is a detox support that helps stabilize the gut. He has me on starting a super high dose of calcium D because that fights off whatever the bacteria is. But he said the main thing was that my body on the scale is producing 0 fiber. Like I'm not producing, I have to increase my fiber. He wants me to have 30 grams a day of fiber. He said if I can't get it with food, then I need to take a supplement, which he gave me a couple of like ones that I can order on Amazon that are clean. But basically it's all that high dose stuff for 30 days. And that's phase 1. And then after that, which I should be feeling way better by 30 days, he said. But after that, I go into phase 2 and it's just a ton of stuff. I have a whole bag of supplements, and then he's sending me a bunch more stuff. But it is interesting because he said even without the parasite or the bacteria, like my body could just not be producing fiber like it needs to be. And he also said, which, this is ironic to me too, because I've always heard, this is a great podcast episode. I've always heard IBS is like, you have to go to the bathroom every time you eat or like all the time. But he said there's different variations of IBS. And he said one is you either have that way or you get super constipated. And he's like, it can be one or the other. And he said, depending on the bacteria that you have is depending on which way you go. Because everybody kept saying to me, are you having all this diarrhea? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm having the opposite problem. And he said that can be normal depending on the bacteria. I'm getting really TMI on this podcast episode. But he did say after the 30 days, he said that it looked like I didn't have a SIBO test. And that's what I wanted to ask you about, because I felt like you had SIBO before. But I didn't have a SIBO test. But he said that it did say that there were like suspicions that I could have SIBO. And so he said he wants to go through this 2-phase process. And then if I'm still having symptoms, then he wants to do a SIBO test.
Yeah. Well, and the bad thing about the antibiotic is there's so many things it can cause after you've been on antibiotic that now
Right.
you could have a whole nother set of stuff that starts happening because of antibiotic and all that stuff. But I think more and more people are going to start to have gut issues. I just think the food we eat,
Yep.
over time, what it does to our gut lining and all those things. It's
Yeah.
been a true battle for me, honestly. And there's so many things that you don't realize associated with your gut, like fatigue, like brain fog, all of
He
those things.
asked me if I had brain fog. Like that was the first question he asked me.
Yeah.
Like, and truthfully, I had to sit there and think about it because and you're the same, like I have just been running so fast
Yeah.
that I don't know if I've had brain fog or not, because even though I felt like crap for 3 months, to be totally honest, like last night was my 12th flight in the month of May. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I said to him, I don't even know if I have brain fog because I just have been pushing through. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
don't
That's
know.
true.
But he
Yeah.
said almost everybody with a gut problem has brain fog.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. Yeah. And I tell you, the other thing I think about too is, going to a colonics person. I know this is very TMI, colonics person, because they're very trained. If they have a really good one, they're very trained in parasites too.
Yep.
Yeah.
A
So, I mean,
lady in
the
Chicago.
good news is you're doing a wellness doctor, and they're going to have a better protocol than if you just went to a straight medical doctor for this, I think.
Well, and not to like hate on a straight medical doctor by any means. I think sometimes they're great, but I went to a GI specialist first, and that was when he was like, you need a CT scan, you need an ultrasound of your gallbladder, we need to do a scope, blah, blah, blah. And I
Yeah.
was like, whoa. And honestly, it freaked me out because I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, do I have like, my like what is going on? And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to, and I took 2 prescriptions that quite frankly, one of them I feel like made it worse. Like I felt like I couldn't catch my breath on it. And I was like, okay, I'm just stopping all of this. I'm going back to Dr. Ryan. I'm going to do the regular like stool test. And then I'm just going to try to treat it through the natural way. And, he said, of course, he's like, I feel 90% confident that it's going to go away and you're going to be fine. But he said, if for some reason after 90 days it's not, he said, then we may look at you going and getting a scope or whatever. But he's like, I feel like this is like, now that we know what it is, he's like, there's no reason why this plan shouldn't treat it. But it is one thing I will say was very eye-opening to me of just the gratefulness that I have to go to a functional medicine doctor versus not. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's personal preference.
Well, and it's also money. I'm just going to be honest. That's another reason when I look back on the blessings from me
Yeah.
having a wake up call so early in my career about how important it was to get up and get after it every day.
Yeah.
Do things where you have money making money for you and you have ways to get extra income without just you always having to do it.
Yeah.
These are the reasons. In all honesty, none of this stuff is covered by insurance.
Mm-mm.
But, and I just heard a lady, my Stretch Lab lady, and it just broke my heart. Her mother had to quit her job because she has cancer. She had to quit her job, and in quitting her job, she lost her insurance. So what medical treatment she could get totally changed. And it's like, okay, people, we got to wake up.
Yeah.
We have to wake up, because just thinking, oh, I'll just, get by my whole life won't work, because there's going to be certain situations where you need to go outside of the norm of stuff that insurance isn't covered. And you need to try to find a doctor who's not, their stuff's not covered by insurance. But I think you get better results and you truly get healed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a continual rat race that people stay on
Yeah.
because they just mask the problem. They don't go back and find the root of the problem.
Well, that's exactly what happened. I mean, and part of it was my fault because I didn't want to just right off the bat be put to sleep and go have a CT scan and a scope. So I was like, hold on a minute. But also like what I took was like this high dose acid reducer and then a pill that coats your stomach. Okay. Well, neither of those fixed the issue. Like they just solved, and really they didn't, but they were supposed to just kind of give me relief, I think. And he wanted me to take that for 2 months. And I was like, after 2 weeks, I was like, wait a minute, like I still feel like crap. This is not the figuring out the root of the issue. But you just said something that made me think. I just did a Zoom right before this on leadership lessons from the Puerto Rico trip for my offices. And the one thing that I circled that John said, he said, know your gift and then go get after it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest things. Like, I feel like I do get after it, but I also needed like another little kick in the butt every once in a while, because once you know your gift and you just go get after it, because what it produces are blessings that, like you said, I mean, I don't know. Some people I feel like are bound by just what they have to do or what they can do at the moment. And I just think there's so much more for people that could give you more opportunities.
Well, and there's several areas of your life that when it's too late, there's going to be a lot of regrets with it. Money is one of them.
Yeah.
Just like, waking up and going, guess what? I don't have the funds or the means to do what I need to do.
Yep.
So the places you need to get after it is money, health, and relationships.
Yes. Yep.
If you got broken relationships, you got to get after it and go fix them, right? Because you don't know how long either one of you have. When you
Oh
got
my
money,
gosh, I have to tell you something. This is crazy because this piece of paper is sitting right in front of me, and you just said relationships. When we were at the high capacity leadership event, which I want to do this with we should do this at a regional leadership meeting or something. It was so powerful. Liz Bohannon had us write down on a piece of paper, one of our, something that we were really, what did she say? I have it in my notes. Something that we were concerned about or worried about, or that was keeping us from having meeting our full potential. Hold on. I have it right here. And it was, okay, hold on. Let's see. Exercise. Write down something that you are challenged with, fearful of, or scared of on the piece of paper when it comes to just your next phase of life, your leadership, whatever it is. And she said, just let it all, write it down, right? Don't think about it. Just write down a challenge that you have, something you're fearful of. What would be something that you would never tell anybody else, but you just have a fear? And she said, write it on a piece of paper. So we were thinking, okay, we'll just keep it to ourselves. And so everybody started writing. There was maybe 100 people in the room. So they all gave us a white piece of paper. We wrote it down. So then she said, okay, fold up your fear or your challenge, fold it up into small little baby pieces. And we did that. And then she said, okay, I just need you all to trust me. Does everybody trust me? And we were like, uh-oh. And then because people wrote down very really serious stuff. So she said, okay, now I want you to take your piece of paper and hand it to the person on your left.
I
and
knew
I was
you were
like,
going to say that.
oh God. So we handed it to the person on our left. And then she said, now that person, I want you to pass it across the table. And so they passed it. But then I was still like, uh-oh, now he has mine. Which I know is what everybody was.
You're trying to keep up with it.
But then here's what she did. She said, everybody stand up, walk around the room, and exchange 10 times.
Oh, good.
Okay, so then I was like, whew, okay. So everybody got around, walked around, and changed 10 times. Then she said, on your 10th one, hold the piece of paper that you got, go back to your chair and sit down. And then she said, everybody open the piece of paper and read it. And people started crying. People were just it was heavy stuff. But and then she actually had a couple people, she said, stand up and read the one that because it's not yours. You don't know whose it is, but we're in a room of people who all have the same thing. So stand up, and a couple people read it. And some of them, I was just like, oh my gosh. But you just said wealth, health, and relationships. And I've been keeping this in here because I've been praying for, I don't know whose it is, but I've been praying for them every day. But listen to what my person said. I have a fear that I have not managed my personal relationships well outside of my personal family. I'm fearful that I will end up leading thousands, but only loved or known by just a few.
Oh, that gives me chill bumps. Oh my God.
I know. That's a big feeling for somebody. They haven't managed their personal relationships well. And so they're afraid and they're obviously leading thousands, whoever it is. These are huge leaders in this room, but their fear is you're only going to be loved or known by just a few. And I was like, oh my gosh. So she said, keep these because you don't know who it is. And just that leads you to think about. But her point was we all have challenges and problems and things that we're dealing with.
Yes.
And you just never know what somebody else's is. But I kept mine because I was like, I don't know who this is, but I'm just going to be praying for this person. But I wanted to read that because it goes exactly with what you just said.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it usually is, and you're lucky if it's only one of the three. But I mean, those are three areas that you can have huge regrets in.
Yeah, you can't be passive in those areas. You have to get up every day and get after it. You know, sometimes I think about all the time that I consume around health and wellness. It's just something I'm interested in and
Yeah.
I search for, and how long. Somebody was saying something the other day. Oh, Mel Robbins, I think, had a doctor on her podcast that was talking, and she was asking her thoughts on Ozempic and stuff like that. She's maybe I don't know if she's like I don't know what kind of doctor she was, but anyway, she talked about how when people have an issue like health or weight or whatever, it consumes their 100% of their time. There's never
Oh,
a time that they're not
so I
thinking about.
feel. Yes.
And there's certain things that you got to get after to find your solution for. And this is one of them. Like, I think because we have all the wrong oils, restaurants are using all the wrong stuff. We have so many plastics. We have all of these things, in which it's just overwhelming if you try to do one at all at the same time.
Yeah,
But
it is.
Jimmy was reading something to me this morning that said the top blank reasons why people are getting cancer. Plastics were one of them. Our houses. I mean, things that would be really super hard for us to do something about. Food, our inactivity, all of those things, right? And so I think we don't get our wake up call until we're in the middle of it. Jimmy's got a cousin right now that's battling cancer, and they've just said, look, your tumor's growing in your liver. There's nothing else we can do. And a million things run through my mind.
Yeah.
But when somebody's at that place, they're not going to listen to, hey, there is a great doctor in St. Louis that my friend Nikki went to, my friend Judy Johns went to. If I had cancer,
Yep.
and by the way, that person has a better chance of helping you if you haven't done all those other things first, which I know everybody has to make that decision for themselves. And trust
Yep.
me, living through my son-in-law going through cancer, I get it. I totally do. But I'm thinking in my mind, oh my gosh, if you had this may not be true, but if you had read up and you had learned and you had found different people who had taken different avenues and said, hey, what if I try this on the front end first while I'm doing the other? So I think a million things can go through your mind in that moment. But when you're in that moment, it's so hard now to do something about it, to turn back the time and fix it, because all of these things take time. Money takes time, relationships takes time, and health takes time.
Yep.
But over time, we're either moving towards what we want in those areas, or we're moving farther away from what we want because we're not getting clear on what it is that we do want.
Yep. So true. It's so true. It as silly as this sounds, like, and I just think about too how much our minds like play tricks on us too. I mean, because you horribilize things in your head, or at least I do. And it was funny because even just getting those results, I told Adam, it was like, I felt like such a weight lifted off me, because I was thinking, like, if they come back and everything's great from that, then it's like something bad. I was like, okay. So, but it was almost like immediately my mind, because I had been so worried about it. I was just like, okay, it's just like crazy how you think about that. But I do think, I don't know if it's a difference in personalities or what, but I do think some people are more wired to like, okay, I'm just going to like figure it out, research it, fix it, get into action, get after it, versus maybe others that aren't. I don't know.
Yeah, I had an assistant one time that died of cancer, and you could almost feel in her energy and her just the way she was resigning to it, that she wasn't going to make it. It was really weird. It was the first time I ever really realized that your mental attitude about it makes a big difference. Whether it saves you or not is irrelevant. Who knows? But for her, you could almost feel it. She gave up from day one. There was no fight in her. There was no will in her. It was just like she just gave up. So it's interesting. So I think the biggest thing people can take away from today is we are going to have more health issues. We are going to have money issues. We are going to have relationship issues unless we get on the front end of them and decide to be the CEO of all of those things, my money, my relationships, my health. And that means you're going to have to spend time and energy and money and resources to find out who are the best people to go to. What tests should I be having right now just on a regular basis? Speaking of that, Jimmy and I had a lab person come to our house this morning at 6:00 in the morning to draw our labs. Yeah.
That's what Adam and I have been doing too. And the reason is because honestly, they don't want me to come in there till like 9 or 10 to get my blood drawn. And I'm starving by 9.
Oh, I got to have coffee by then.
I'm like, I got to eat by then. So she comes to our house at like 6 too, because you have to do it when you're fasted, and it's like, I can't wait till 10 o'clock to have a protein shake.
Yeah, so true. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're on the road to recovery.
Yes.
I hope that this solves it. And then, and it's not something super bad that you can't probably cure.
Yeah, me too. And as stupid as it sounds, like, I just can't wait to eat a cheeseburger and drink a Coke.
Okay. Now. Okay.
I just talked to Ryan this morning. He said, okay.
And then you're back on plan.
Yeah, he said, just take it easy with the food once you do start feeling better. Because he's like, you need to let your digestive system get back on track. I'm like, no, I will. But you know what? As stupid as it sounds, Linda, I will say this. This stupid infection or parasite or whatever it is, like, even that has like strengthened my faith even more over the last month, because you just, like, I'm just like, man, I can't eat. Might as well pray. Can't do this. Yeah. I mean, it's like it does. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It'll test it for sure. Yeah. Well, remember, if you have not hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that now. And the greatest compliment you can pay Dana and I is a great review, first of all, but mainly pass this podcast along to anybody that you think would get benefit from our conversations. If you have a guest, a challenge, or an opportunity you'd like for us to bring on the podcast, be sure and reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. And Dana, I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See you then.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.